Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Peace Today with Judith May. Say it with me. Say it with me, please. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. That was my favorite church song growing up. It landed in my heart hard and has never left. That's been the core of just my life. This is my passion. This is my purpose. Peace. A little onomatopoeia there for you. My passion and my purpose is peace. And I pray for peace today. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And I thank you for joining me. For my video today, I thank you for joining me in the goal of this program, which is to advance peace on earth by becoming more peaceful people. Each of us as individuals, just taking responsibility for ourselves. We can change the world one person at a time. And the only person that we really have to change is ourselves, because changing ourselves will affect everyone around us. And the more of us that do that make that change, that make the shift to peace consciousness, we can heal the world. And I pray that for us. And I'm excited for today's show because it's a follow-up to yesterday's episode. Immediately after yesterday's episode, I went and prepared myself to retire for the night. And as a part of that, I opened the Bible to do a little read before I went to sleep. And it just opened pretty much straight to some scripture that is a correction to something that I said in the video that I just did yesterday. So I'm excited. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, God just answered me. Like I said something in the video. What I said, in case you haven't seen it, and I encourage you to go and watch it, is that I was not sure that Jesus referred to himself as the light, because there's lots of references to Jesus as light, and I kind of more so recalled other people making references to him as light. Full disclosure, having been raised Catholic, I feel like I didn't really get well grounded in the Bible. And then about the age of 19, I tell this story in one of my earlier videos, I think my first one, the introduction to Judith. Around the age of 19, I separated from the Catholic Church. I became a non-practicing Catholic, although I continued my love of Jesus, but not within the confines of a of a institutionalized religion. And that has been the case for quite some time now. And so only within the last several months, last year, 2025, a really important year, if you're somebody who loves numbers as I do, math major here, I rediscovered Jesus. I rediscovered Jesus, and I am having this whole new relationship with him. Even though I've had a relationship with Jesus my entire life, I'm having an entirely new relationship. It's just gone to another level, and I'm so thankful, so appreciative. I'm really enjoying it, and it's honestly, I'm enchanted. I'm enchanted by Jesus, if I could just say that truthfully. I mean, people talk about falling in love with Jesus. Yeah, I think pretty much that would be me as well. I've fallen in love with Jesus, and not just because of, not just as a sort of cliche, because he's. I mean, maybe I don't know what other people mean by that, but am. I actually um, find him enchanting. Like when I read the stories of his life and what he was doing in the Bible, one of the most enchanting uh, stories that I've read was the calming of the stormy sea. Really good thing for us to be meditating on right now. The fact that Jesus has the power to calm stormy seas. Visually, like when I sort of imagined what that might have actually been like for the disciples that were on the boat when this happened, getting tossed in a storm and the boat taking on water, and they're afraid they're about to die. And Jesus is sleeping though. He's not bothered at all until they wake him up. Not that he was bothered by them waking him up, but then they woke him up, and he rebuked the sea, the wind and the water, and everything became calm. There was peace. There was stillness. Can you imagine like going from a storm where you think you're about to lose your life, and he just commands the forces of nature, and like this, everything is like back to smooth sailing. What? Like when you actually imagine what that must have looked like. I think in one of the versions of the Bible, in that story, they say that the disciples were amazed, and in another they say they were terrified. Like, can you imagine? Like that I can imagine that is in a way terrifying, that somebody actually had the power to do that. So that's one of the stories that I'm enchanted by. And then last night, so when I talked about Jesus as light, and I wasn't sure if he referred to himself as light, but I'm aware of others describing him as light. Literally, when I went and got on the bed for the night and opened my Bible to do some reading, it opened exactly to this page where Jesus is saying that he is the light. Jesus is saying it, not just that other people are writing it. Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Beautiful. Beautiful. And funny thing is, even though I said yesterday that I didn't think Jesus actually referred to himself as the light, and then I found it here, I actually had this underlined. So I'd read it already. Underlined it so I could just, so it would pop out to me. And when I went to read last night, God was like, oh, yes, Jesus did say that he's light. Not just everybody, not just other people referring to him as light. He says he is the light. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. I stand corrected, and I could not be happier. First of all, that's just one of those moments where you realize, like, God actually pointed that out to me. Excuse me. I'm just excited, y'all. So God literally, after I did my video where I'm speaking about Jesus' light and admitting that, because I'm not that familiar with scripture yet of the Bible, even though I'm reading it now and trying to become more familiar, certainly way more familiar than I've ever been in my life, and loving it, I obviously forgot that Jesus said that of himself that he's the light of the world. And so as soon as I go to my Bible last night, God was like, here it is. The thing you were just saying, there it is. Jesus did say that he was the light of the world. And so anyway, this particular moment where he's saying that is at the Feast of Tabernacles, if I'm not mistaken. And y'all forgive me. I'm just being honest that my knowledge of the Bible is in its early stages. So I'm learning so much of this anew, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm glad for you to be joining me on my journey. But anyway, so the Feast of Tabernacles is happening right around this time, and I believe that he is saying of himself that he is the light of the world during the Feast of Tabernacles. So I looked it up a little bit more, and I discovered, that the Feast of Tabernacles is when they have these 4 giant pillars of fire, light, that actually like illuminate an entire city of Jerusalem. I'm not sure. Sorry. It's okay. You just have to forgive me that my knowledge is growing. I'm learning. And so my read just on the internet, I don't think it was in the Bible, is about the Feast of Tabernacles, where there's these 4 pillars of fire that are tall and burning so bright that in a city where all of the buildings are made of limestone, like, it creates this incredible visual sight, this wondrous visual sight of the light from these lamps illuminating the entire city, because of the limestone structures that all of the homes and buildings and so forth are made of. And like, that imagery to me was another one of those moments of enchantment. Like, oh my gosh, like that's new to me. Like this notion of the city being lit. And forgive me if I don't have the correct city named. I'm learning. I'm in the process of learning, y'all. So it's okay. It's okay. So that was another moment of enchantment. But then also on top of that, at the Feast of Tabernacles, he's like saying, as amazing as this is, I am the light of the world. Like these are the lights that light up the city. I am the light of the world is what Jesus said. Because he, being the Son of God, the God who himself is light. I talked about that yesterday. Literally light, like a radiant energy source, God, and at the same time love. Like that love is also a radiant energy that illuminates, it gives off visible light. Incarnates as Jesus, and now Jesus is on earth saying that he is the light of the world. I know that there's lots of y'all out there who have known this stuff all your life, and I'm happy for you. This is new to me, and it's just like amazing. I love it. So anyway, and then on the next page I have underlined, Jesus then said to those Jews who believed in him, if you remain in my word, you will truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So again, that relationship between light and truth. And in the notes around here, it also speaks about light or his healing of the blind, which there's one of those stories not too far from here, the man born blind in chapter 9 of John. I can't remember if I said that I'm in the Gospel of John here, chapters 8 and 9 I'm looking at. And again, he refers to himself, while I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Speaking, this is in the man born blind section. And so again, Jesus gives sight to the blind. Important. That's something that's connected to him being the light of the world. So he is the light that gives sight to the blind. And I want to do another little adjustment of the language, because the light and love are synonymous. The love is a radiant form of energy that illuminates, right? So love gives sight to the blind. Love can heal the blind, just like light is something that gives sight to the blind. So anyway, I'm just, I'm humbly offering what I'm learning and my excitement about it, and just wanted to share it with you, particularly in these times. In these times where we all need to be channels of light, channels of love, channels of truth. We really need to be honoring truth in these times. If you are a follower of Jesus, you have to honor truth, because Jesus is the truth. Okay, so I can see that I'm at 20 minutes and a half or so, and I'm trying to, just be mindful of the length of the videos. There is more that I would like to talk about. Maybe I'll do that another time. I feel like this is it for now. And so obviously whatever other topic, maybe Spirit will lead me to speak about that on the next video. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, comment. That's a new thing for me to be asking. For that, I appreciate it. If you want to support my fledgling channel, where I'm just humbly here, wanting to be a reflection of the great light of God. It's all for His glory. Here in all my weakness and humility, but also in my, my greatness, and in my gifts that that are only available to me because of God's glory, So I want to be humble, but I also want to acknowledge that because of God's greatness and being blessed, I want to acknowledge that I'm blessed. And one of the greatest gifts that I've been blessed with is the spirit of peace. And that's the point of these videos, is to be able to share that with you. So I am excited to be growing and sharing, and I appreciate you for being here, for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.